Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Man, this week we're going to talk about one of the greatest things that happens all across the country in the fall and the winter and why I think it's so great. You guys stay tuned. This week's Project E coming at you. There's one. That is a good one too. A good one. Golly. What do I have? Man, I got something that is stretching my string. Not as big as I thought, but he's got that thing in there sideways. Look at that. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Oh, how do you lip one when they got it like that? It's in there sideways. Kind of makes it hard. Oh, I love it. That's what I love about this time of year. You know, that water's down low. It just brings all those fish out to the channels, out to where it drops off. It just stacks them up. It's a cool thing about this time of year. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. A lot of times there might be a lot of them. There's another one. There is another one. Yeah, that feels like a good one too. Gosh, dang it. Come here, fish. Come here, fish. Oh man, he's pulling hard. Man, I just paused it right when I got it to that river lip. And that's what I caught right there. Yes, yes, yes. Come here, girl. Look at that one. Isn't that a chunky bass? Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, thank you, buddy. So when you go to try to do this on your body of water, when they've drawn that water down, the first place you want to start is looking at those outside creek bends. That's where the sharpest drop is. A lot of times that's where shell beds are. That's where you want to start when you go out and you try to duplicate this pattern on your body of water. When I'm fishing this pattern, I will always start with a crankbait. I can cover water. You know, it's just a very, very efficient bait to cover the water quickly. Then once I've caught a few fish, let's say like, you know, I've caught a few fish right here, then I will turn around and I will throw something slower. You know, it could be your choice, whether it's a football jig or a regular jig, Carolina rig, or a worm. Then you want to pick something up and just make sure you're not leaving any other fish right there where you just caught a few. Got another one really close to where those others were. And a big one. It's one thing I found, you know, this time of the year, you know, I first learned how to do this pattern, you know, down there on Toledo Bend. And man, they would stack up in the fall down there on that river channel. And you would have schools of fish, and some of the schools would be big fish and some of them would be little. I think a lot of times they school up by size, but not always. I remember a few times down there that, you know, I'd catch them, and then all of a sudden you'd catch a big one. So it's not always the case, but sometimes it's the case. I guess I really don't have an answer for that. I really don't care. I just like catching them. One thing to keep in mind when you're developing this pattern or you're trying to fish this pattern on your body of water is it's so much of a timing issue. I can remember back to you know, when I was first learning how to do this, me and Matt Reed had a big team championship, you know, on Rayburn, and I practiced for weeks down there living in my camper. And you know, I found a lot of groups of fish, and like the best group of fish I found, we started on them that morning and didn't get a bite, like not a bite, maybe a couple little ones. And you know, Matt's looking at me like I'm crazy, that, you know, I'm full of it, that you know, you didn't find any fish. Well, we go back about an hour and a half later, and we catch one every cast, like 25 casts in a row. So keep that in mind when you're out there practicing trying to do this. You know, I would fish a spot multiple times before you really write it off, because it's a timing deal. Those fish pull up on the outside bend, up on that bar to feed, and then they pull back out here to suspend. When they're out here suspended, you're not gonna get a bite. I mean, they're gonna be out here underneath the boat in the middle of the river channel. So keep that in mind, fish those spots multiple times, and you know, it's a timing deal. There's one. Feels like a nice one. What do I got? And these fish have just moved up here. I got up here shallow to get my bait unhung, and I hook another one right under the chin. Oh, buddy. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Just moved up. Look how fat that fish is. Thanks, bud. He's up on top, like top. You know, he's not even near the edge. That's cool. Here's a great example of what you're looking for. You know, a lot of these places are gonna have shells on it, and when you catch this on your bait, that's what you're looking for. I mean, and these are gonna be focused in those outside bends. Shells equal current, hard bottom fish. You know, that's just what it is. But when you find those on your hooks, that's a good spot to start. When you're looking for spots like this, always think about what direction the current was flowing, you know, prior to building the lake or as the lake's been built. You know, the best spots for me are always those spots that the current hits the hardest and has to turn. But, you know, a lot of times it doesn't have to be a big monstrous outside bend. It could just be where the channel crossed and then goes to the other side. It just hits. What it does is it digs it out right there. It's a really sharp drop. It's a harder bottom, a harder fall. And that's the spots that I look for when I'm thinking about coming down these rivers and I'm looking at it. I'm always thinking about the current and where it hits the hardest. There's one. Oh, feels like a good one too. Feels like a good one. Tell those fish are cold. Just getting them on that back hook. Oh, come here, fish, come here, come here. Awesome, man, they're chunky this time of year. I mean, they are feeding up. Look how white that fish is. I just switched right over to the other side of the creek channel. It's one thing I talked about. Think about that water hitting, how it comes down through here. Just switched up to the other side. I felt like that water was hitting right there before it came to this outside bend, and we caught that fish right there. Thanks, buddy. I love it. See if there's another one. You know, I mentioned, you know, how important the current is hitting the shell beds. Another reason or another thing that I really pay attention to is those stumps that are on the side of the river. You know, you got to think about all the years of the water going down through here. It washes the dirt out from underneath those stumps, and it's just a perfect home for a bass to be. You know, they can sit up underneath it, ambush anything that comes by. But pay attention to those. Use your electronics. You know, I'm using my active target, and I'm looking for those specific stumps, and I'm casting exactly where those stumps are. Oh man, he thumped it too. I mean, thumped it. Oh yeah, that's the biggest one of the day. Yes! Look at that big old head shaker. Come here, buddy. Come here, come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. I gotcha, I gotcha, I gotcha. All right, all right. Yes. Man, it's kind of been a weird day for me today. You know, I've only been able to catch them on moving baits. I want to do my power stop breakdown real quick after I let this fish go. What a beautiful specimen. All right. You know, today, I've got a couple other rods out, but everything's happened right there on that crankbait. That's the new Fritz Side 5 biggin. It's quite a bit bigger than the original 5 Fritz Side. I chose this bait because it's subtle. There's a lot of boats out here fishing today. I just wanted a little bit quieter bait, one that was silent, a tight action with that cold water. I've got it on 12-pound fluorocarbon. I've got it on a 7-foot medium heavy cranking rod, same thing I always use, and I got it on a 6:8-to-1 gear ratio reel. Just cranking the sides of these ledges. You know, a big key today is that active target, just seeing those stumps on the side of that ledge, on that river channel, trying to make multiple casts on those spots. There's another one. That's another one. Oh, that might be a big one. That's a big one. I think that may be a big one. Stay on there, fish. I think that may be a big one. I don't know yet. I feel like it's a real big one. Golly. It's like they started biting. What do I got? What do I have? Come here, fish. Come here, fish. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. Look at this one. Look at this one. It is a big one. That's the new Fritz Size 5 biggin. It just caught me a biggin. Look at this fish right here. Back-to-back cast. It is full grown, all there too. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Yeah. Look at that fish right there. Look at that fish. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? What a fish. What a specimen. Yes, sirree. I love it. I love it. Thank you, girl. All right, what a chunk. Golly, guys, it does not get any better than that. Thank you, girl. What a fun day. What a fun day. I love it. Fishing the side of a river channel when the lake gets down. It's the best time of the year to do it. In the fall, the winter, you know, they draw these lakes down. It's when you got to do it. You can just learn so much about your body of water too. But, you know, that's the thing about it today. You know, I've gone a long time in between bites, but when I get a bite, I get multiple bites. That's back-to-back casts, so keep that in mind when you're doing this. Cover a bunch of water quickly. Then when you get a bite, make multiple casts.